Together, we can build communities. Written by Thal Dixon.
Illustrated by Mary K. Biswas.
Are you excited, Chris? Dad asked as my sister Sarah buckled her seatbelt in the back seat of our yellow truck. Yeah, what are we going to see? I asked. Today you'll see how we build communities, Dad replies as he smiled and winked at both of us. I was excited to go on a family field trip and spend the day seeing all the places Dad's company helped build. As we passed our school, I waved at Mr. Wise. We're learning about construction today with my dad, I yelled as we drove off. Dad said that learning in school is really important, and that's why he likes to build so many schools. But he said it's also essential to discover how things work in the real world and how to work with your hands. Is the new slide ready yet? Sarah asked as we turned the corner past the new city park. Dad's construction company has been working on a new playground, and we have been counting down the days until it is finished. It will take about another month, said Dad, pointing out the workers driving the bulldozer and preparing the dirt before laying the grass and placing the playground equipment. When you get a little bigger, you can drive one of those all by yourself instead of sitting on my lap, he promised. I can't wait, I exclaimed as I continued to watch in amazement. It happens faster than you think, Chris, said Dad, and with that, we continued around the corner. Where are they going? I asked. Someone is in trouble and they're going to help, Dad explained. Just as we work hard to build buildings for the community, the firefighters work to keep people safe and protect the places we build. I want to show you this, Dad motioned as he drove in front of the courthouse. See how our team is placing the concrete? Dad went on to explain how the concrete had to be perfectly smooth and angled so that the water would drain off of it. The workers needed a lot of skill to make sure they got rid of any marks or air bubbles before it hardened. Like a united pack, they worked together as a team until the concrete was flat and smooth. Look over there, Dad pointed to the new clinic where Eddie was walking on the sidewalk with his hedgehogs, Rio, Shadow, Tess, and Gypsy. They must have just finished their checkup, right, Dad? Chris asked. Dad smiled. Absolutely. Eddie said he had appointments today. I'm proud we build places where all family members can get the help they need. The rest of the afternoon continued with Dad showing us a few more buildings constructed by him and the workers of his company. A hospital, an office building, a hotel, and a middle school. We also stopped at the job site of a new theater under construction. We got to see the steel workers walking high above the ground and the concrete workers installing footings and prepping to place the foundation. A solid foundation and level framework is the key to everything, Dad explained. If we get those wrong, then everything else that follows will be off as well. Are you ready to check out some books at the new library? Dad asked as we went inside. There were still a few workers adjusting the window shades and setting up for the ribbon cutting as we headed over to look for some books to take home. Looks like you both found something good to read, Dad commented as we headed outside to get ready for the ribbon cutting. There was a huge crowd gathered out front, and the mayor asked Dad to stand by her as she cut the ribbon. Everyone was very happy. After the ribbon cutting, we were off to see Grandpa Eric. It had been such a fun day seeing so many things Dad had helped build. We're here, kids, Dad announced as we parked in front of his office. The building was his home away from home, and I felt proud knowing that my family was helping build all of these buildings around the community. Are you ready to see your grandpa? Dad asked as we headed inside. We didn't answer because we were already sprinting ahead. Grandpa was talking with the receptionist when we walked in, so Sarah and I grabbed some candy. Welcome to the family business, Grandpa chuckled as he turned his attention to us. Grandpa stood tall, his eyes twinkling and his face wearing a smile as big as the sky. How are my two newest employees? He teased us. Dad has been showing us all of the buildings you've built, I blurted out eagerly. I don't think you have time to see all of them at this point, Grandpa chuckled. I've been building new buildings since 1945 when I got back from the war. What war was that, Grandpa? I asked curiously. I flew planes in World War II, Grandpa replied, as he showed me some pictures of him from a long time ago. After the war, Grandpa continued, I wanted to make sure other soldiers who fought and sacrificed had a place to live. I began by building houses for them. They were small homes at first, but they were built to last. I knew that strong homes would be the foundation for their families, just like we build strong foundations for our buildings. Now we build all kinds of buildings to help many different people be happy. Now, sitting back in the chair on Grandpa's lap, I smiled at the thought of everything we saw that day. It was amazing to think how Grandpa and Dad grew the company into one of the most successful builders around. Grandpa's voice was soft but full of pride as he spoke directly to me. We're building communities, Chris, and every time we help, we make the world a little better. I didn't know it then, but those words would stick with me forever. Dad, come help me, Jared called as he picked up the ceremonial shovel for the recreation center groundbreaking. I snapped back to reality after reflecting on a special day I had as a kid. I'm here to help, I answered back and headed over to enjoy the special moment with my son, just like the times I had with my dad and Grandpa. Thank you for joining us today at Kids Poetry and Storytime with Thal Dixon. Want to know when we upload a new video? Hit subscribe and be one of the first.